Hello, my name is Michael Renahan from the Intensive English Language Program here at Moraine Valley Community College in Palos Hills, Illinois. And today I'm going to be discussing punctuation in quotations in order to introduce an assignment to our students. So as a college student, it's very important that you know how to quote others to use in your academic writing. When you're writing, it's important to let others know where your information comes from, okay? And we can do this in a couple of ways. We can do this through reported speech, which is kind of a paraphrase of what someone said, or we can do a direct quotation. In general, direct quotations are used for shorter items, so something maybe a sentence or two, but a paraphrase or reported speech is generally used for something longer where we summarize what someone has said. So let's take a look at a little bit of this now as we go through this. So direct quotations of statements. Okay, again, these are usually very short and it's exactly what another person said or wrote. We have to be careful that we copy it correctly. If you change words or make a grammar error inside of someone else's quotation, it's actually a kind of plagiarism because the person didn't make that grammar or spelling mistake. Okay? So here's an example. The famous American writer Mark Twain once wrote, "Quitting smoking is easy. I have done it hundreds of times." Notice that the period goes inside the quotation mark, and then we set off the quote with a comma and then our quotation marks. When writing a direct quotation that occurs at the beginning of a sentence, the comma goes inside the quotation marks before we put in our period. So look at the example here. Quitting smoking is easy. I have done it hundreds of times, comma, inside of the quotation mark, wrote the famous American writer Mark Twain. Okay, so we can do the quotation in the beginning or the end. Either way is fine. A direct quotation of a question is also something that we need to be able to do. In this case, the question mark goes inside the quotations, not outside of it. So in the beginning of a sentence, if we have a quote, we could say, "Which would you rather be if you had the choice? Divinely beautiful, or dazzlingly clever, or angelically good?" asked the author L.M. Montgomery. All right, notice I have my question mark, finishes it off, and then there's a quote. Then I have a period at the end of the sentence. If I have the quotation mark, the punctuation at the end of the sentence, we kind of do the same thing. We just flip it around. So the author L.M. Montgomery asked, comma, "Which would you rather be if you had the choice? Divinely beautiful, or dazzlingly clever, or angelically good?" And notice that the question mark goes inside the quotations once again, and it finishes the sentence at that point. Some other quotation marks we kind of have to watch for are technical or foreign terms. In that case, even though somebody in particular didn't say it, we have to give a quotation mark to show that it's not from English. Okay? So for example, the students ate falafel for lunch today. Falafel, you may have to put in quotation marks because the person may not know what falafel is. Okay? And it shows us that it's a foreign term. When the term comes at the end of a question mark goes inside the quotation marks. Okay? Goes outside the quotation marks. So what is falafel? The question mark goes outside because in this case, falafel is inside of the sentence, but the question mark ends it. Okay? So we're going to put the question mark outside. Those are a little bit different than a period, which goes inside. So if it's not a question, the period goes inside. I really enjoyed the falafel, and then the period goes inside. I know that looks funny to many of you who learn British English, but in American English, it goes inside. Okay? All right, thank you.